And wow, it was so awkward. I think we were like, so, what do you like to do? And like, what's your favorite color? Really bad, like,
First date.
Right. And then I guess sort of toward the end of the conversation, you sort of reiterated that you were moving to China, but this was right before. This was like a week or two before Labor Day weekend, right? It was like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think it was 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah. And so Sarah said, "Hey, I'm going to be in DC packing up my stuff before I leave. Would you want to come down and maybe we could like get dinner because it's not that far from New York. It's not that hard to get there." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, I'll think about it." Like, I don't know why I hesitated so much. I guess it just seemed like it was just like a blur. And so after like a little bit of dithering, I was like, what am I doing? Like, I should just go. I had no Labor Day weekend plans. My parents were going away. Like, I was literally just going to be like sitting at home by myself watching like television or something. And so I got a bus ticket. I booked a hostel. I went down there, did some touristy stuff, and we got dinner. We met at the train station because that was like a pretty easy place to meet. And it was a lot like the Skype call. It was a little weird. It was very funny. We were sort of joking, like, what? I wonder what the servers think about this. We look so much alike. Like, do they just assume we're related? Like, I don't know. And we really bonded over the fact that we both like to eat. Yeah. And then I think at that point you were moving like 2 days later. Yeah, 2 days. So we met, had dinner, and then we're like, "Hey, bye!" And then Sarah moved to Beijing for like 6 months. And yeah, so then we weren't really in touch hardly at all. I think there might have been like an email or two, but really it was kind of like back to sort of silence, radio silence. However, we got our mothers in touch, like by email. They started, like bonding and all kinds of stuff. That I have no idea really what they were talking about.
Dishes, probably.
Yeah, right. And so they organized that when Sarah got back from working in China, that she and her mom would come visit me and my family, and just to spend some time together. But also we decided that we were going to get a DNA test because it just seemed like the natural thing to do. And yeah, so she came to visit when she got back. It was like right after you got back too.
Yeah.
Like, did you go home?
No.
Okay.
I flew into DC, and then my mom took the train into DC, and then we both took the bus up to New York.
Yeah, so like literally right when she got back from being like abroad for like, half a year, comes directly here. And I went and got them from the bus station, which was interesting. I mean, again, it was like, almost like meeting again for the first time, just because we'd had so little contact, and, meeting her mother was, kind of emotional and things like that. So we got to spend some time together, and we went to get the DNA test, which, of course, of all places, was in Chinatown.
Which, it was so sketchy.
It was a little bit sketchy. It was like, in this tiny doctor's office, like on like the 4th floor or whatever, and oh man, it was really great actually that Sarah's like, conversational in Mandarin, because I don't speak like any, and they didn't speak a lot of English, so there was a lot of me being like, can you come over here and talk to them, because I don't know what I'm doing. And so it was a very basic like cheek swab type test. But we opted for the twin test as opposed to just a general relationship test, because I guess that's really what we were curious about, just like looking so much alike. And then we waited for the results. And yeah, in the meantime, I guess we just sort of hung out, got dinner. Sarah came to my office one day before we were getting dinner, freaked out some of my coworkers. It was pretty funny. They still talk about that sometimes. And then we got the results.
Well, your dad came home finally.
Oh, right. That's right. My father had been on a business trip, and he'd been gone this whole time. So he wasn't there for the test day, just our moms. And yeah, so he came home, and then the results arrived, I think that day even. And we opened them and kind of didn't know what they said.
That's so true.
Because
there were too many double negatives in the results.
It was, you know, for, I guess, statistical reasons and, like, not
legal reasons,
possibly. It was like the likelihood that, you know, the two individuals are not something is probably whatever.
Some random number with like lots and lots of like strings of like digits after the decimal and percent.
Anyway, it took a little while for us to really parse through like what it said. I think the most prominent thing that we gathered from the results when we first looked at it was that we were Asian, which we already knew. Yeah. But that was confirmed.
And both female.
Yeah. Amazingly. And yeah, so according to that test result, it would appear, despite all the double negatives, that we are in fact twins. And, you know, we sort of had semi-visual confirmation of that. But having, you know, the actual cheek swab tests for that was big deal. And just kind of surreal in a way. Like, I know for me, I think I would have been more weirded out if it had turned out we weren't twins at that point, just because we do look so much alike, and we're from the same city, and we're adopted from the same play, you know, orphanage, and actually they worked, I think it was through the same...
They went through the same adoption agency.
The same U.S. adoption agency, too, which is crazy. I mean, it's like Wonderland. I mean, just like farther and further down the rabbit hole. Yeah. Do you have anything to add?
I mean, I guess from my perspective, I think Celena did an awesome job explaining kind of what happened. From my perspective, I guess to jump back in the story to when I first got her Facebook message, it was very random. It was just one of my friends had posted on Facebook, you know, hey, what's this other folder in your Facebook inbox? And I was like, what? I don't even know what that is. So I was like Googling, like, what is your other folder in the Facebook inbox? And then it was like, oh, if you open your inbox in Facebook, you can find this other folder. I was like, guess I'll look at that because, you know, I was on break as well because we'd both graduated. So I was like, I'm sitting, I think I was actually sitting at church, and I was like, oh, well, I'll open it. Like, I get, you know, whatever. And I opened it, and then it was all just like spam from like random pages I'd liked, like, hey, discount for this store or something. And I was like, okay, this is useless. So it's like your spam folder, great. And then I was like, glad to know Facebook has that too. They can spam you anyway. They can get in touch with you. But then the first message, the one that was at the very top, was from Celena. But at the time, the name didn't mean anything to me. I was just like, who is this person? And then I realized that the date was from like 2 years before, and I was like, hopefully that wasn't important. Like, don't know what this is. So I like opened it. Actually, I'm gonna be honest. When I first looked, I was like, can people like, you know how like they always say like you get an email from someone you don't know in your like personal email, you shouldn't open it because it could be a virus or something. And I like sat there for a while being like, can they send you a virus to your Facebook inbox? Like, I don't know. Like, maybe they can, but I was like, probably not. No, whatever. It's worth the risk. I'll just open it anyway. I mean, I won't click anything. If there's any links, I just won't click them. And so I opened it, and I got the message from her saying, you know, that she had a classmate from high school who saw me on campus. And at this point, I had totally forgotten about freshman year because you meet so many people during orientation who vaguely look alike and who think you look like other people that it's just, you know, it's like there's hundreds and hundreds of people that you're meeting as a freshman, and at this point as a junior or as a senior, I'm not, or we had graduated, I guess, at that point. So it's like, I'm not thinking about like when I first got to Georgetown. So I didn't even recall that at all. And so I like read her message and I was like she said, I was like, oh my goodness, like, I'm so sorry. I wasn't ignoring you for like 2 years. I just, or, you know, whatever. And so I responded, and then we kind of figured out we were from the same place. We were born at the same time. But what was interesting was when all this happened, I think for me, it was kind of like, it wasn't a super emotional like experience, and I think Celena agrees. It was more just like, because you're not expecting anything like this to ever happen in life. So you're sitting there being like, what? Like, is this a joke? Am I being like punked? Like, you know, is someone gonna jump out and be like, you're in candid camera? Like, you know, like no one's expecting that. And so I called my mom. I was like, hey mom.